Oh, good. Okay, great. I'm gonna tell Robin, and we're gonna get started very soon, everyone. We're gonna give a little walk around before Robin Gordon will make some remarks to welcome everyone and introduce each of our participants. So see you in a bit. Gonna get Alice and then we're gonna get started. Yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome. If I can have your attention, please. My name is Robin Gordon and I'm with Trace Layer Play Arts Based Research Collective. And we want to welcome you to the Trace Layer Play 3 exhibition. We call this our replay. This is an opportunity for reflecting and revisiting spaces for those of you who've been in here before. And if this is your first time here, welcome. And we're so pleased that you can join us for the final hour of this exhibition. You're seeing it in its highly generated point of the week. If you had come in on Monday, you would have seen some blank walls, some empty spaces, and a whole lot of potential. We still look around and see a lot of potential, but also the walls are a lot fuller now. Trace Layer Play as an arts-based research collective began in 2020. It was built out of desperation, a need to connect during the pandemic. So 4 PhD students in the Arts Administration, Education, and Policy Department got together, learned that they could actually connect with each other physically, socially in space if we applied for the Hopkins Hall Gallery space. We had no idea what we were going to do with that space. We just knew that we needed each other to be able to get through the pandemic and a PhD program. And that's what Trace Layer Play was born out of. In our second year, we had 9 participants, and this year we have 14 participants. You've got 14 exhibitors in this. And we're so excited for you to experience, explore, engage in this space. And most of the exhibitors, could you just raise your hand or shake your hand in the space so you can see here. We're eager to communicate with you or completely get out of your way so you can just have your own experience. But we're glad to be in the space with you. We're just going to go around the room to the exhibitors, many of whom are already stationed somewhere near their contribution to the exhibition, which is highly interactive. You've probably already seen that. And we're just going to, because there's 14 of us, we're going to spare you. We're just going to share our names and the project title or the idea behind the project. And then if you've got questions, we'll be near our stations and feel free to ask us some questions. Okay, so how about I'll start and then Julie, I'll pass off to you. Okay, and then we'll just kind of move around the room. So again, my name is Robin Gordon. My contribution this year is a co-creation station, kind of a maker space. All of the materials at the station are contributed by the exhibitors. And the idea here is to, how do we invite public participants to know that they can engage in dialogue beyond words? How can they engage in arts-based dialogue, get to know exhibitors through the materials that they use and enter into dialogue that way? Co-creation station, Julia.
Hi, my name is Julia. This year I've been interviewing, mapping, and archiving the conversations from the gallery space. So this is meant to be a digital representation of the connections that we see between our work and a space for archival materials that we can look back on and remember our time in the galleries.
Erin, can you pass on you?
Oh, sure. Okay. Hi, my name is Erin Hoppe, and in my space you will see an exhibition of art and artifacts representing the embodied, lived, creative experiences of arts administrators from all over the country who took time to interview, or who I interviewed and who submitted things online. Just to explore what that visceral feeling of arts administration is and how that impacts our practice and policies in the field. Anna?
Hi, I'm Anna Freeman. I created the space that's through this curtain. It's called Reading Circle, honoring the Society of American Indians, otherwise known as the SAI, and really a space to reflect on their activism as well as advocacy here on campus. And we'll pass it down this way. Maybe to Amy.
Hi, I'm Amy. This is my piece is sort of woven throughout, seeing these links in the sky, and then this moment here where I've asked some questions and invited responses from participants with photography and voice messaging. My interest was in how do participants walk away from this community engaged research? What are their takeaways? How do they transform from these experiences? So that's sort of what I've been looking into. Erin?
My name is Erin. I'm 30-year PhD student, and this is my virtual research lab. So that I'm looking for the way to using the technology and to be connected with each other and share the research ideas. So this year I created virtual version of my research space, and last year I created physical space. So this is kind of work. So yeah, thank you for coming. Xiaoxiao.
Hi everyone, my name is Xiaoxiao. I'm a second year PhD student at the Aelim department. So I want to be honest, like doing research, it's very difficult. So this year I just want to create a space for people to have conversations and also like talk about their work or their challenges, just like a cozy spot for people to like sit down. And also using rice as a metaphor, it can be different things for different people. So I'm not going to define that.
Okay, I'm Paige Dempsey. This is my piece I called Paths Cross. I just started working in the arts administration field in August, and I've been thinking a lot about our careers and how we get to where we're going and how we meet. This is the OSU thing, how we all meet in certain places for a little bit and then go our own direction. So this is people mapping their career paths, whether they be in the arts or not, and showing where they go and where they meet and where their passions.
All right, I think it's my turn. Let me just hand off.
Hi, my name is Noor. I'm responsible for the wall we can do. Not really, actually. Everybody past here should help me paint it over. I think. So this is an attempt to start thinking about how to tell the story of the research. If a lot of us work with the community over a really long period of time, in my case, 3 years. How do I tell that to somebody in 10 minutes? And so I've got some very fun responses on the wall so far. I'll invite you to read what people have left behind.
Hi, I'm Tamryn McDermott, and this is my kind of research on display. I'm in the data analysis process of my dissertation project. So I decided to make an experiential performative version of an Excel spreadsheet. So here you see my columns. And here are my rows and my fields that I'm entering my data into from a tool I'm using to analyze my research participants' videos. So I invite you to come and write a visual description so that when I include an image of this in my dissertation, I'll have a bank of image descriptions to pull from for my alt text fields. And yeah, welcome. And I'm going to pass it off to Leigh.
Hi, everyone. I'm Leigh Ziegler, and my exhibit is looking at the intersections between music and politics. I'm in the middle of my thesis project, and this is a bit of a broader scope of my research question. So I'm asking participants to come up and reflect upon their own musical listenings, what they think about the intersection of music and politics. Does that politically motivate them? And can you separate art from the artist's political beliefs? And also within this, you can, the responses are all pasted to the instruments, and you can play on the floor piano. And usually there is sound on our sound shower. So currently there's a classical piece being played. So and if you stand under it, you can hear it. So that's a little bit about mine. Thank you.
Ollie, oh, yeah, I'll take Alice.
Hello, so my name is Polly. I'm a first year PhD student in the program, and so this is also my first year being part of Trace Layer Play. And I really wanted to do something that involved theory and the selecting of theory, but I wanted it to be a collaborative process. So in including all these theory documents from when I was in a master's and now for PhD, I'm inviting everyone to add in a link from whichever document. You can also contribute your own. And as you can see, it's kind of organically already connected to many other people's pieces. But I really wanted to bring fun and play and collaboration into theater.
Awesome. And now we're gonna let Alice speak. We've got a speaker here. Do I need to turn this on?
No, for you.
Okay. Alice, go ahead.
Okay. Hello. Hi. What am I looking at?
There you go.
Hi, everybody. Sorry I can't be there. Hi. So I'm Alice Cheng. Unfortunately, I caught COVID one day before the whole exhibition. So I'm sorry I can't be there with everybody. But my piece is layering stories and places, and it's really thinking about my own positionality, and how my relationship and stories related to other places, many other places, are really inseparable from what I'm doing and why I'm doing things. So I extended that to think about how data and qualitative research oftentimes are the same things, stories and relationships of our participants, and how to honor that by engaging with it. So yeah, please, I don't know what it looks like right now, how full it is. I hope there's still space. So please just add a place that is important to you. I would love to see it. I will see it eventually. So, thank you.
Thanks, Alice. Thanks, Alice. That's everyone. Now we would love to invite you to visit our rice bar, grab a snack. We've got beverages. Thank you so much. I am Ryan for the beverages, and explore, engage, experience trace layer play. The exhibitors will remain around if you have any questions. Get your hands dirty. Enjoy. Thanks for being here.
We share on the. Yeah, we'll share Jasmine's work. She wasn't able to come tonight. Since yeah. And then I think we'll be saying goodbye to everybody. So this is the work of Jasmine Floyd, and unfortunately she wasn't able to join us tonight, but I wanted to share. This is a book of poetry, collage, research, and art that she's created, and it's titled Reimagining the Preparation of Art Educators. And she's done this beautiful job of writing and poetry creating and including notes, erasure poems, asking questions. And what she's then asking us as viewers to do is to contribute a word that comes to mind after exploring her research book. And I don't know if this will work. We'll try it. Oh, let's see. This is a QR code. So if you can try to capture the QR code on your phone, you could then contribute a word to her word cloud that's being projected up on the wall. And then I wanted to share two other things briefly about Jasmine's work. She shared with us that she typically has a Starbucks office space. And so she's an artist, and she created a cheese Danish, a sculptural cheese Danish. And her favorite drink, she has like a strawberry iced tea. And then her headphones, and I don't know, her track isn't on right now, but she has like a Spotify playlist that she listens to that viewers can sit down and listen to the music that she listens to when she's doing her research. So yeah, thanks so much for joining this evening. And then one last thing I'd like to share, and I don't know if you all captured it or not, is right over on the end of this movable wall. And that is that we have a phone number, and we are soliciting calls to leave a message for us. This will be audio, an archive of audio files that are from visitors of the exhibition, both online and in person. And we're asking questions like, what word or phrase would you use to describe your experience today? As you're exploring the space, describe something that you saw, felt, touched, heard, smelled. And then what is one question you have about today's experience? So if you have time and can give us a short voice message. I know we're not used to leaving voicemails. We like to text most often in this day and age. It's kind of scary to pick up the phone and make a call, an actual call to somebody. But I'll just read to 614-706-1503. And I think that's about it for this evening. Our visitors will be here for about 20 or 25 more minutes, and we appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. Thank you so much, and please come back to Hopkins Hall Gallery to see Urban Arts Space and the Hybrid Arts Lab exhibitions throughout the rest of the spring semester, and they also have exhibits going through the summer. So we welcome you in the doors anytime. Hopkins Hall, right on the Oval at Ohio State University. Thank you.